Hi everyone, welcome back. And if you're new here, hello, I'm Mint. I am sorta an artist, and this is my YouTube channel. This is part 2 of Redrawing My Old Art. Check out part 1 if you haven't. Small recap. I'm drawing art from middle school. The characters I picked out are twins. Today's video is Io's. Io, like his sister, is also a pixie. He was born from a jar of peach syrup. I chose peaches for him because back in middle school, I thought peaches were more shy versus blueberries. You know, the blueberry syrup that IU was born from. I do not have an explanation for this. My brain would give random things personalities, so peaches were more introverted and blueberries were extroverts. I don't know why I did this with a lot of things. I just give things personalities, and this is why I settled for peaches for Io. Anyway, I wanted to keep that dynamic between them. I like that it's a subtle nod to the drama masks, like the comedy and tragedy. It's like I used to be a theater kid, so this is why I love it. It's just a nice aesthetic, and I don't know, it reminds me of that. And I think it's perfect for them as a performing duo as well. It just makes my brain happy. It itches something. So I'm keeping that. Time to reveal Io. He's also gonna hang out with us while I draw his new look. Um, oh, also my screen recording had some issues. It just stopped recording. I don't know why. It's towards the end, so I got most of it. It does just stop, and that's a bit frustrating, so I just wanted to let you guys know. But I do show the finished line art at the end, so it, it's sad, but I don't know why. I'm still learning some of these things, and screen recording I didn't know would just stop on me. Maybe I ran out of storage or something fun like that. I gotta look into it, but anyway, just a heads up. Now let's yap about Io. As previously stated, Io was born from peach syrup. He is a pixie. He does have sugar and snow powers like I thought, because IU also has those powers. Okay, so in my middle school version of things, the twins were separated. Oh no. He was stolen and taken to a freak show while IU stayed at the circus. So basically, in my child brain, the freak show was evil and the circus was good. This is where some of the edginess I was talking about comes from because I was an edgelord and I had tragic backstories for my OCs. Anyway, Io and the other OCs I had in the freak show were all forced to be there, which is not very ethical, middle school Mint. Anyway, so they were all forced to be there by an owner, the big bad, a lady named Thorn. Oh my god, this is so uncreative. Anyway, it's so uncreative of me. I have no memory of Thorn or what she looked like. My middle school art and drawings just has notes written on them, but they're not organized or very detailed. It was just surface detail of information that I was supposed to remember or understand what it meant. Anyway, Io's story was supposed to be more edgy versus Iu's. Io was also supposed to be a spy, but I cannot remember how that was going to work or why or what for. I just know that Thorn was a shady businesswoman and she did shady business lady things like running a freak show and needing spies. I don't know why. I really don't. I'm guessing eventually Io and the others are freed from the freak show and Thorn is taken down. You know, because that's how stories work. I'm hoping that's how stories work. I don't know. My middle school self was a little terrible at writing because I'm not a writer at all. Um, anyway, Ayu would still be a performer and probably wants to reconnect with her brother Io, but you know, now he has trauma and can't separate forced evil performances from good, happy circus stuff. So that would be something they would have to work out. And but anyway, we're gonna scratch it. We're gonna scratch that. His backstory is not gonna be that tragic. We're just gonna give him stage fright, and he's gonna work on that with his sister Ayu. and they're gonna perform. They were never separated. They're just gonna they hatched from their syrup jars in the circus. They have circus friends, parents, and they're gonna do things like that. And Io will work on his stage fright. So yeah, stage fright, maybe. I don't know. They need a story that's not a mess for sure. One without all the random parts. Io would have been such a horrible spy with his timid nature. Also being stolen from his family would have not helped. Ah, it's, I can't imagine how Thorn would have gotten him to cooperate in any capacity. I know in middle school I just put things in their story that I thought sounded cool and was dark and mysterious to keep the story going. Uh, so I just put haphazard struggle as plot points, which isn't great writing. Again, I was not a writer. I still struggle with story building. It is something I'm working on because I do have stories to tell. For Io and Ayu, I'm still unclear about their story. I do like them hatching from magic syrup jars. I still find that pretty cute. And them being part of the circus. Love that. I've mentioned some of this in part 1. I was just hoping to have more ideas for them in this video that I could talk about, but I don't. I'm still thinking of what their story could be, and I'm coming up pretty blank on that. Alright, I rambled about the lore that I could remember and added stuff. So this time I will shift over to talk about the design elements. Io's design from middle school is similar to Ayu's. Looks very uncomfortable. It has the boots, the socks, and the weird coat. But in Io's case, it's a weird coat vest with detached sleeves. Io also had a lack of ears and wings. But at least the cloud looks more cloud-like than from Ayu's cloud, which looked like a mushroom. Anyway, for Io, I wanted him to represent more of an insecure look, to contrast with Ayu's like joyful, loud energy look, That's kind of the vibe I'm trying to get at. So I gave Io droopy ears and droopy wings. And I tried to give him a timid pose, so he's holding onto his arm. Is it withdrawn? He's withdrawn. So basically, just giving him the opposite personality of Ayu. I also wanted to keep some similarities from the old design to the new design. Io has his braid and his floppy bangs covering one eye. I know that was an art cheat back in the day as a way to avoid drawing both eyes, and I was very guilty of it. But for Io, I wanted to keep it because I thought it suited him well still, especially with his more reserved personality. And I think it mirrors Ayu well too. In part 3, when they're standing next to each other, it'll be cute. The vision will hopefully be seen. I hope I can promise that, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be. I can't think of the words to articulate, but the opposite twin aesthetic will show through, and that's what I am hoping for. Hopefully that was coherent enough. I also wanted to keep the clown and jester aesthetic going for Io as well. I gave him slippers and tights. I also made the outfit poofy as well. I secured his hat, maybe? I'm not sure, but I do love how his hat looks now. It's adorable. I gave him a fluffy collar and vest, but I took away his edgy detached sleeves. So his outfit makes more sense. At least I think it does. Those edgy detached sleeves would have been probably not the best to perform in. If I'm going with Io's stage fright, maybe he wouldn't be performing that much anyway, but it's something he would be working on. And I don't think those sleeves would have helped in the long run on stage. They would have fallen off a lot, like everything else in their outfits. It's not secure. But yeah, no. I think his outfit makes more sense now. It looks more comfortable, and it also matches with Ayu's, which I wanted. So they have, that going for them. It's like I'm trying to really hit the symmetrical and asymmetry going. I don't know if that makes sense, but I want them to have things matching and things not matching, which is really cute to me. I can't wait to color them in part 3 and have them stand next to each other. Oh, it's gonna look so cute. I'm so excited. And I I can't wait for the coloring part. I think it's my favorite out of all of the drawing process. I kind of want to get into a little side tangent about color because coloring is the last thing I do, so kind of like cuz I love drawing obviously, but it's the last part of drawing. So I just kind of want to get into explaining about why coloring became my favorite part because it wasn't always my favorite part, and that's kind of interesting, I think. Hopefully. So yeah, coloring used to be something I hated and avoided. As an adult, it has become my favorite step, but growing up, I did mostly draw in pencil. Sometimes I would draw with pen, but I also hated that because, pen is scary. But color was just something that frustrated me. I could never get what I had in my brain down on paper, and I feel like there's, a few reasons why that is. One reason being that I needed to gain, a better understanding of color, which makes sense. For a beginner artist, you don't have that skill set to understand color and, how to do all of that stuff. Man, I can't articulate. But anyway, I also just had this crazy archive of random art supplies. The mixed media of gel pens, Crayola, and markers. Oh my! I had to figure out how to create a balance with all of those tools, and I failed a lot. I do mostly think it was because of the gel pens. Maybe that's just a cop out, but gel pens were forged in hell, and I don't use them anymore because they are evil. But I did get rid of gel pens once I figured out that they were terrible. I, figured out that alcohol markers were good because I saw a lot of people using Copics, and even though I couldn't afford Copics, I did get alcohol markers from probably Walmart back in the day, and they were beautiful. They opened up a whole new, oh my gosh, a whole new world. Oh my, anyway, for me in art, because I could, draw with my crayon, and then I would scrape off the top layer of that, um, the color crayon, and then I would layer it with alcohol markers, and it would just be beautiful. And I've just figured a way to make mixed media work by learning through my tools without most tutorials and other resources. I just had I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna make it work, even if I struggle, and then I did it. So now I still have, when I do traditional art, I still do use this random assortment of tools to color with because that's what I did growing up. It's what I'm comfortable with. It's still fun. It's just a mess, so I don't do it as often anymore. This is why I moved to digital art. It was just, as a way to do things I can't do traditionally, but it's just more convenient. Like, I have to take a day and I have to spread out all my pens, all my pencils, everything to do a traditional coloring. Which isn't the end of the world. I enjoy it very much. I just haven't had time to do that recently. I should. I should do a traditional coloring or just a drawing in general because it is fun and I do miss it. And I think that could be a fun little process video. Since I'm talking about coloring, maybe I should show how I typically color because it is my favorite part of the process. And, that would make sense because it's very hard to describe how one colors. Like, I can't really describe how I draw or my art style. So it's kind of in the same vein, but yeah, no, I really like to color. I don't really have much of a reason for this tangent besides that it's my favorite part and I'm excited for the coloring portion of, this mini series I started. So part 3 will be coloring and it'll have both of them together. I think that'll look adorable, and you guys would be able to see them side by side and how they like contrast and complement each other. So that's why I'm really excited. It'll just be a nice little wrap up, and I cannot wait for it. Oh my gosh. It's coming soon. When this video gets uploaded, I will be working on editing and recording part 3, so I'm going to try and get it out. I know I said this video would be out relatively early, but I got busy, and sometimes things don't pan out how you want them to, but for the coloring one, I will try to come up with a schedule and get it out, hopefully in a timely manner. Oh yeah, now that you all know what the twins look like, I was still hoping for name suggestions and would very much appreciate that down in the comments, because Ayu and Io, they just have to go. They're very outdated names, and I just want names that suit their new designs and personalities. Something away from anime and manga, perhaps. I'm not picky. I just think new names would be nice, and if we could work on that together, I'll pick my favorites, maybe put it into a poll. I don't know. I just would really like some new names for them, and hopefully by seeing, what Io looks like, and in my previous video what Ayu looks like, that'll get the name ideas going. I'm very bad at coming up with names, in all honesty, but I also just think it would be fun if we could work together and come up with a name for both of them. Yeah. So, I'm not picky, anything really, just go off their general vibes. Io is, the shy, reserved, born from peach syrup, and Ayu is the more extroverted, um, blueberry syrup one. So yeah, any and all name suggestions are welcomed. I'm gonna gush about my son now. He's just too cute, and I'm very happy with his redesign. His color scheme will match that of his peach syrup jar, like how Ayu will have a blueberryish color scheme. I think my favorite aspect of Io's design is how I depicted this character is low energy. And, he's a little droopy. I love his droopy little wings, his hat, even his eyes droopy, and his ears. Oh, it's just, ah, chef's kiss. It's the perfect. I mean, maybe I'm just, you know, overselling it. This is my art, so I am biased, but I'm just happy with it. It just makes me so happy, and he's just so cute. It's not often that I love my art, it's pretty rare, but this redraw is making me love my art so much and appreciate it from a different perspective that I haven't really appreciated it before. I'm always comparing myself to other artists, which isn't good. It's something I'm working on. I think I'm getting better at that and appreciating my skill and what I am able to do just fine now. Especially with this redraw, I think that's been helping a lot. And I don't know, it just makes me have good feelings, and I'm just so it's just such a weird feeling because I don't think there's a lot of art that I've done that I'm happy with, but I'm happy with this. Well, with that, this video is coming to its end. Thank you for stopping by and listening to me rant and ramble. I appreciate that too. I do appreciate you guys making it to the end of this video. Anyway, this has been Mint. I hope you're having a pleasant morning, noon, or night wherever you are in the world. Stay tuned for part 3 of redrawing my middle school art. I will try to get that out as soon as possible, hopefully. Until next time, bye!